Yo, 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 what's going on, you beautiful people? I know it's been a minute. But let's just hop back into it. Welcome to another Moment with Jay.
I just wanna hop on the mic and say, I know the world been a little chaotic and everything. I just wanted to check and make sure everything good in the hood, like sure, you know what I mean? Say out of the fam. Okay, let's get to work.
Ooh. Did you see the waves crash right at that exact time that we needed it to? That was beautiful. All right, people, how y'all doing? I know it's been a minute. I wanted to take just a week off, because I just wanted to chill 1 week. I helped on a couple guest spots and on other people's podcasts, and they'll be coming out soon. So I just felt like I talked a lot the 1 week, and so I didn't really want to come and give y'all like an inferior product kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I'll just bank up my ideas and come at y'all. But yeah, so I got a couple guest spots coming. I don't know, one dude said it's coming out in like November or something. One dude said it will be in a few weeks. I don't know, they'll come out when they come. I'll keep y'all posted. But then I got sick and I was out for a few days. I'm still recovering. So that's still I'm feeling much better, but I was out for a few days for sure, and I guess that's how we'll start. I once you're getting over a sickness, you just, man, I like to splash. If you're listening, you have no idea what I'm talking about, but go on to YouTube and look at this. The background is sick today. This one's chilling. And what was I saying now? Oh, and maybe it's just kind of like the meditative stoic mindset that I have. But after the second or third day of being sick, I was just like, man, I really miss feeling healthy, feeling fine. And, over the last couple of days when I've been able to move around a little bit more, get to stretching and stuff, you're just like, wow, what a privilege. And I was just talking to a homie about this. What a privilege it is to be healthy. So much of our health we can't control. There's a huge genetic portion and, environmental stuff. But, talking about sickness, actually, last week I was watching one of my faves, one of the GOATs, Andrew Huberman. And what was the one that I was watching? Oh, this one. These ads, man.
I'm a nobody who created.
His name is Dr. David Linden. And man, so this guy, let's see if they have a little blurb. Dr. David Linden, PhD, professor of neuroscience at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine and author of many books popular about the brain. Yeah, so they discuss individual differences between people, focus on differences in how people sense the world around them and the roles that chance, hereditary, and life experience, even in utero, like in the womb, play in determining our physics and cognitive skills. Traits, sorry. Super interesting. So this guy got diagnosed. He tells this crazy story too, and this is kind of what ties into my sickness thing. That's why I got excited about it. Not excited about it, but you just become more grateful for your health. And so this guy got diagnosed with heart cancer. And he's so smart. So when he's talking about it on this podcast, and he talks about when he gets diagnosed and what what it is, and he's just so smart. He explains it so well, and be that a good thing or a bad thing, being so smart and understanding your illness like that. Oh, that's delicious. I actually got a hot coffee because it's starting to get cold here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So it's like, especially because I've been sick, I've been needing them hot bevies. So no cold brew right now, but we on that hot coffee, It's delicious today. Anyways, so homie here was talking about his heart, his heart, his heart issues, and it's wild in the perspective he said, it's like right now, if you were given, and this is kind of in my own words because he talks for a while, obviously it's like a 2.5 hour podcast, but I would listen to it. They talk about some interesting points, but let me explain this one first. He talks about getting diagnosed with heart cancer, and he's like, yo, what the fuck? Heart cancer? And sorry, my mind just kind of blanked there for a second. Oh yeah, right. And he was talking about how, he was given I want to say 12 to 18 months to live. And I think it was 5 years ago. So he's beaten it. And because heart cancer is so rare, he was even saying that his doctor had to give him a number. And because it's not a super prevalent type of cancer, that he that was the best guess that his doctor could have gave him, and he doesn't like harm him and he doesn't discredit him or anything for that. He's like, okay, obviously I need to give this guy time span. And what he said was, he's a bit of an older dude, and he has grandkids and children, and he runs a lab, and he's got a job, he's doing research, and he was talking about, if right now, no matter what your age is, you're given 5 years to live, you're gonna be like, what? Only 5 years? I have so much to do. I have all of this, I have all of that, I have I have kids I want to raise, or projects I want to complete, or places I want to go, things I want to do, and but when given that diagnosis of 12 to 18 months, and he's like, if I was supposed to die in 1 year, and then someone's like, no, you know what, it's gonna be 5 years. He's like, my perspective changed. And he's like, it's like 5 years, I can do so much in that 5 years. I can spend so much time with my wife. I can spend so much time with my children. I can finish up some of my projects at the lab. I can pass on my information. 5 years is so much time. And I think that's a beautiful hearing all that, especially hearing about his viewpoints on certain topics. And dude's obviously super, super smart. And this is a great podcast to go listen to. And he said some very interesting things about meditation and breath work, and I can't remember what he kept saying, woo woo or something, like, he's like, I think he's pretty atheist from the way that he speaks. There's some interesting points he makes on the podcast, and one that I thought was very interesting was everybody. I really love that big splash of the wave. Man, I wish I was chilling, smoking a joint by the fucking ocean right now. I did that one time when I was in Vancouver, and I was doing a radio tour sponsored by this company called Steam Whistle Brewery. They gave me so much beer, man, so much beer. And I was dating a girl over there at the time, and so anyways, I did this kind of little radio tour throughout BC, and I went to, I think, the University of British Columbia. I went to a bunch of college universities, and beautiful, crazy campus, gorgeous, stunning. One of the, it was like a little town. Nardward. Nardward was is still a fucking is still I think still runs a show there. If y'all ever seen.
Hey, this Cardi B, and you watching Nardward's video vault. It's yeah. That's what you're watching. Reporting live from Bochella.
Nardward. This guy, this crazy motherfucker, man. He's a wild dude.
Who are you?
First off, who are you?
You are Cardi B?
Yeah, I'm Cardi B, yeah.
Welcome to Coachella.
Woo!
So anyways, that dude, he got a crazy story too, Nardward. If y'all don't know who he is, he's like a radio host in BC for the university there. I wonder if he still is. But basically this dude, I also think he played in a band. So now he just interviews super famous people. His interviews with Snoop Dogg are always hilarious, and he is like the interviewer. You know, nobody.
I haven't seen you since Austin, and before that in Vancouver. But just get
Nobody's better than Nardward. He always popping up. He's like, "Oh, did you know that your great grandfather produced this track?" She's like, "I never met my great grand." You know, it's crazy shit. He's just one of the best and most interesting, super weird, and he does this thing at the end of the interviews too where he just fucking where he fucking sheesh, these ads, bro, where he, god damn, let's go, where he like he does do 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 do. And you're supposed to go duh, duh, and motherfuckers. Oh, let's see. Oh, I just missed it. This is the part.
Thanks so much, Snoop Dogg. Keep on rocking in the free world and do.
These nuts.
Then he just fucking stays posted up. Then he just fucking chills.
The cameraman over there forward with it, cuz he froze, cuz what's happening? You gonna say cut or nigga just gonna stand like this for a whole minute and a half? What the fuck is going on?
We got a show. We're gonna walk the stage.
Let's go. And here's Johnny.
Hilarious. Anyway, so when I was doing this tour, I go to the University of BC. If he doesn't have a show on that radio station, the university radio station, he used to. And anyways, I remember just going down and dropping off, a CD, and being like all anxious to try and fucking meet this dude. And I go into the radio station, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's not here today." I was like, "Ah, fuck." So I'm sure he gets CDs and stuff, especially back then, all the time. I'm sure it was nothing. I don't think that university ended up picking up my stuff for the radio station. But anyways, it was a crazy trip. But you go down from that university and you go down the hill, this gorgeous winding hill, and then beautiful trees, and you're right at the ocean. So I go down there, I light up a joint, and it's like looking out like this, not a pier, because it's like a rocky beach with some trees. I'm selling cheese. I'm sparking up, lighting up this joint. and I'm chilling, mad chilling. It starts to rain a little bit. I'm watching the waves. I'm watching some boats come in. I'm smoking this joint. It's a good time. I'm vibing. Don't really got anything to do. Just a nice relaxing moment. And then I hear some people coming. And I'm like, kind of whatever. And then I noticed that they're naked. And I was like, what the fuck is going on over here? And then I saw some more people and they're naked. It's like 10, 12 people over there and they're naked. Everyone's naked. And I was like, oh shit. This that naked beach they were telling me about. So I got the fuck out there, you know what I'm saying? But it was just a wild moment. It's just a wild moment. But anyways, let me circle back to that dude I was talking about before. The Dr. David Linden on the Andrew Huberman podcast. Because he was talking about nature versus nurture. And he was saying that, like, that's not really exactly how it works. That's like a really oversimplified version of what it is. And I was like, okay, And he was saying that it's really the meeting of those two things. And the example he gave, I mean, he really goes into it. And, because everything, and he's really talking about how your genetics meet with your experience. And that's really what causes a lot of things or impacts lots of things. And a simple example for him is, like, say for instance you're allergic to gluten and you have that genetic deficiency, whatever you want to call it, and you can't break down glucose or gluten properly. But if you are in a place in your life from birth to death where you never consume gluten, having that genetic setback or whatever doesn't matter. It doesn't come into play because your experience plays such a huge role with your genetics. Where you are, what you do, who you eat, what you see, who you talk, all those things really play into what happens to your body. And I thought that was super interesting. And then he starts to talk about, like things in the womb, what the mother does and all kinds of things like that. And I thought it was super fascinating. So I would definitely check that out if you got a minute. And I just 2 days ago when I was starting to feel a little bit better and I was even just starting to stretch, like, get out of bed, stretch a little bit. I was so grateful, so grateful for I wasn't even feeling that great. I was just feeling better, good enough to move around a little bit and stretch. And I was just like, man, I'm so grateful for this. And that's another thing too. It's like when you hold in your mind that you're going to die eventually, the good and the bad experience, I think you can become way more grateful for. And, and I think that's what kind of ties in what I was talking about with the doctor and him just being sick with the flu or whatever. When you hold in your mind, eventually I'm not going to be here, you're like, nothing is really that bad. And actually, so then I was listening to this Jordan Peterson talk, Dr. Jordan Peterson, and he's the big fucking tall dude, Tony Robbins. And Jordan Peterson was talking about how, there's worse things than death in this world. Like, what if you, I don't want to throw out things because I'm not trying to trigger people or anything, but like, what if you were enslaved and brutally beat to a pulp every day for your entire 10 years and then you died? That's a lot worse than death itself, I think. Or just for an example, it's like he often talks about how there's worse things than death, And that's an interesting perspective to hold as well. And I think there's just room for gratitude always. That's always just what so many people are affected by events and things, and so am I. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I get down. Sometimes, I get passed over for a show, or I get passed over for a grant or something, Of course it hurts my feelings, but it's like not as much anymore, and how it affects me is just not how it used to. And I guess maybe that's maturing, not giving a fuck, because it's like things will work out. And that's just always kind of what it is, man. So I went to a comedy show the other week, whenever the fuck that was. Shout out The Moon, shout out Trisha's Asylum, and it was awesome. I took a lady friend of mine, and we go to this event. Great comics, man. Great comics. It's funny. One of the comedians there, I've seen him a couple times. I used to coach him in basketball. Now he's a comedian. Super funny. Anyways, lots of great comedians there and whatever. Great night. One of the best venues in Edmonton. I love the venues. Shout out Dave and Trish. Shout out it's just an awesome venue. Shout out The Moon. Trisha's Asylum is what it's called. It's usually on Thursday nights. That particular night, it was on Friday. And so anyways, I ran into a homie there, and so I'm introducing my homie to my lady friend, and and instantly, it's because she went to the bathroom, so me and him were catching up a little bit, and he's telling me about how his kid's going to school, starting school. And she comes back, and I was like, oh, she probably will care. I was like, oh, he just put his kid in school. And she's like, oh, that's nice. And he's like, yeah, we're starting the indoctrination process. The government only teaches one side of the story. I really stress to my child that family over everything, even friends and employees and teachers, that it's all temporary. They're all there to do a job. And I was like, damn, bro. And I was high at the moment. I was like, this is way too much right now. I was like, bruh. I thought it was hilarious, though. I was like, bruh. They were doing some giveaways. We ended up winning some weed, too. That was nice. That was nice. So I've been sick in bed over the last few days, and sometimes making music, making art, you kind of get, especially if you writing a lot of songs and a lot of them ain't turning out. I think I write a lot of pretty good songs. They don't all come out. Definitely they don't all come out, because it's like a different level of art I'm trying to hit. And it's really hard to make those songs, at least for me. And so I write a lot of songs in hopes to get a couple that I think are really dope. Like through the process of making Olympus, I've probably wrote, hundreds of songs, hundreds and hundreds of songs. This has taken me years to do. But I got to, I've been laying sick in bed, and a friend of mine sent a voice note on the iPhone, and it was hilarious. So I was just laying in bed on my laptop with my headphones on, and I ended up putting it to a beat. And I tell you all this, just be like, man, I put all this pressure on myself, to perform, and it's motivating, and I think it's helpful. But I sent this person the song that I made. It's only a minute. It's, it's not great or anything, but it's funny. And I sent it to them, and they started laughing their ass off, And I was like, as much as I'm trying to make these like emotionally impactful or, songs with a much deeper meaning and it makes you feel a certain type of way, sometimes I like to just fuck around, and you know, I put out that project a few years ago called Just for Fun. And that's the vibe. One of my most popular songs come from that. One time for the homies in the back, one time for the fam in the front row, no two. That song's really about nothing. You know, it's really not about anything. I just wanted to write a very fast rap song. And people loved it, you know, which is super cool. People still bumping it, which is, again, and that's what's cool. And what's cool about that song too is it's like a 2.5 minutes long, maybe even a little bit shorter than that, maybe only 2 minutes. And I remember when I released it, people loved it so much that like you have to come up with a second verse, got to do a remix, blah 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 blah. But honestly, the reason why it is the way it is because I couldn't figure out something else that was dope. The first verse was so good. One time for the homies in the back, one time for the fam in the front row, no two. BP roll like 5 blunts, cause what the fuck is one blunt gonna do? We roll up, we toke up, yeah dog, I'm getting high. We spark up, we light up, yeah dog, I'm feeling fine. Set fire to the booth for the flowing, get hot to the roof when I'm token. This guy be the truth and you know it. This guy be the truth and you know it. Never humble by a hard time, but my hustle never part time. I'm stressed out, dog, I'm pop fine. You top 10, well dog, I'm top 9. Let me go with it. The goal was to go with it. Can't help when yeah, you get it. Anyways, I got a couple gigs coming up next month too. I haven't been picking up a lot of shows, only corporate stuff for right now. You know, just kind of keeping things on the DL, really focusing on the music first, and then the vinyls, and then you know, I'm even playing with the idea. So there's for sure gonna be an Olympus 2, but dog, there might be an Olympus 3. I'm still playing around with that idea, but no matter what, Olympus, the original Olympus, is only 1,000 copies, and it's interesting. I connected with some new people. I'm always having the conversation that because people always ask me, they're like, "Yo, when Olympus coming out? When Olympus coming out?" I was like, "It's coming, it's coming." A lot of people thought I forgot about it. It's like, how? I always talking about it. I always am talking about it. And so there'll only be 1,000 copies. Whether I do, and now I'm toying with the idea of there being 500 copies now and then 500 copies in 10 years. I'm not sure. But there will be for sure Olympus 2, and that will come out digitally. And then there might be an Olympus 3 that will also come out digitally. But Olympus, the first one, only coming out on vinyl, there will only ever be 1,000 copies. And, you know, it's so fun. I keep having conversations about it with homies, and they're like, "What? Why would you do that?" And I'm like, because this album isn't for everyone. You know, this album was always intended to go on vinyl. That was always the goal of the album. I started making this album with the idea that it was going to go on vinyl. Why? Because my very first project, Life, came out on a CD, and it came out on Spotify and stuff. But that was back when Spotify was just in, the streaming services were just getting going. We wasn't sure of how the systems work. And then Olympus, man, when I started working on Olympus, this album was never meant for streaming platforms. That's what people don't understand. People just don't really understand what authentic music is anymore, I think, because even some of the authentic artists, or what's labeled authentic, isn't, you know, as authentic as what it used to be. This is some raw, real shit. That's what Olympus is. Olympus, there's only gonna be 1,000. The pre-orders will be coming back up soon. There will only ever be 1,000. There will sorry, what else was I gonna say? So why only 1,000? Because Olympus 2 and 3 is for everybody. That's why it's coming out digitally. Olympus 2 and 3, Olympus 2 for sure is for everybody. Olympus 1 is for people who, one, are my super fans, people who really believe in the vision of JusJrdn and what I'm going to do. It's also for people that love to support even just the Alberta, Canada, Edmonton local artists. It's like, man, if you really like what I do, you know, I'm all about getting other artists paid and growing myself and helping my brand so that I can help more people. Better art and healthier people will change the world. Why also? I think this album's worth $1,000. I think this album's gonna be worth $1,000, you know. And they like, why are you charging $100 for your vinyl? Because it's worth $1,000. And I thought I would give y'all a deal. The vinyls, once they go back on pre-order, they'll be $100, and they will never be less than that. And because it's worth it. It's a piece of art from an artist working to master their skill. It's taken me years to make this, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. And now it's ready to come out. And I don't need to be popular. I don't need to be #1 streaming artist. That's not what it's about. What even this money will go to afterwards is, yeah, I'll pay the artists that are on it. I'll pay the producers that are on it. Their splits of everything. And so they'll get a nice little check, you know, which is important to me. And then the rest of this money will be go into the next album, which is Mr. J and the Heartbroken Homies, which is going to be crazy. We're working on it right now. You might get a teaser of that on Olympus 2 and 3. But that's why. And people like, I follow so many things about business and things like that. And in order to, it's like, man, people try to lower their prices to be the cheapest. But I'm not trying to make a product that's disposable. You know, I want you to purchase this and feel proud that you're one of the 1,000 people that will ever hear this record, you know? And, you know, I think that's cool from an artist standpoint. I'll have one of the 1,000 copies. I think it'll be cool to give the artists that are part of this, the producers that have been part of this, one of the 1,000 copies. And I think all that is pretty cool, pretty special, because it's like, this is something unconventional. This is something that no other people are doing. And the price point, $100 is nothing. $100 is nothing. That's one dinner. That's a half a day of work or something, man. I've been putting in years for this project, you know? And if you choose to see the value in that and to support me, that music's going to the local music scene. That money's going to push my career further. It's not like I'm gonna go out and buy some chains and you know, it's gonna go to help feed my family for the next year while I finish the next project. And so yeah, that's why, man. It's not about popularity for me. It's about doing things that are interesting and speak volumes to me. So that's why Olympus, and you're going to hear me talk about this more and more over the next couple of months as the rollout continues. It's, man, Olympus is really for people that like authentic art from an artist. And I hope that the first time you listen to these projects, you sit down and you listen to the whole thing. And because that's how it's supposed to be listened to. It's a concept album. It's and they all connect, you know, they all connect right from Road to Olympus, Good People, Olympus, Olympus 2, and Olympus 3 if I decide to go that route. Anyways, it's super exciting. I'm super hyped about it. I won't be too long-winded on this right now, but that's really what it's about. You know, it's about I'm creating a unique product that's, you know, there's only gonna be 1,000, and I think that's cool as shit. You know, I think that's cool as shit. And Nipsey Hussle did something like that too. Nipsey Hussle was selling $100 mixtapes. Nipsey Hussle and the $100 mixtape, man. And that's what, see, and that's exactly the inspiration, man. That's exactly the inspiration. Is he made $100,000 by selling 1,000 copies of his mixtape for $100 each. That's the inspiration. Jay-Z bought 100 copies, man. And that's what I think it's about. It's about making this That's the inspiration right there. Nipsey Hussle is the inspiration, dog, you know? And it's like, because once you get to that $100,000 in business, that's when you can start making better decisions. That's when I'm coming from a place of not starvation and I'm coming from a place of thriving, and I can make better moves, make better art. And that's really where this is coming from. I've created a product with some of the best people in the industry to serve the purpose of making better art. Better art and healthier people will change the world. And that's what it's about. And yeah, I really can't wait to get that out. I really can't. I can't wait to have the physical vinyl, you know. It's making me emotional because it's just such a long journey. You think about, and that's what's cool about being an artist, I guess. It's like, you know, every album's kind of like a time capsule. I remember making Life. I remember what was going on in my life around that time. I remember what motivated those songs, you know. And same thing with Olympus. And this is why it kind of gets a little teary-eyed, because it's almost an end to an era, you know. And this was a fun one. So much learning, so much growth in this one. Yeah, it's cool. So I really can't wait. 1,000 copies, $100, Olympus, coming soon. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be truly, truly amazing. And that's another thing. Sorry, that's what I was talking about from a business standpoint. Alex Hermosi, a business dude, owns a company called acquisition.com. And essentially, you know, you kind of have a few places you can be in business. A lot of people will try to fight to be the cheapest cost. But what happens when you have the cheapest cost is eventually it's going to be zero, you know? And when it's zero, you can no longer service your clients, your fans, your whatever, and properly when there's no income coming in. So what's better? And what I've changed over the years, as I try to be the most affordable, I'm trying to be the best value. And that's what I think my art is here to do. It's not about being the most popular. It's not about being disposable or the cheapest. It's about being the most valuable. I'm trying to put the most value into every track, every project, and that's what I believe I've done with Olympus. You know, and and that's why I'm like, man, it doesn't matter that other artists like Taylor Swift are selling the projects for fucking $20-$30. They're also printing 100,000 vinyls, and that's the difference. You know, it's like the difference is, yeah, that mine's more expensive, but mine's limited, really limited, truly limited, and then just super personal, super raw, super all that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyways. But one of the things I want to talk about is my sister's getting married this week. And super excited. What a beautiful time. You know, super excited for her and Jeremy. Shout out Faith. Super, super excited. And what's, you know, super cool for me is I get to be the wedding commissioner. So I get to be the one to marry them. I just got my certification and all that. So I'm very excited. What a privilege. What an honor it was that I got asked to do it. And I'm very excited to I feel like I could be more grateful for the opportunity. And so this is part. I'm pretty sure I'm going to call this "I Became a Wedding Commissioner" Part 1, because Part 2 next week I'll talk about the wedding and how it went and everything, and I think it'll be really fun. Super, super exciting. I can't wait. More love, more success as always. And, you know, I think it's just going to be a fun day. She's serving tacos and shit. I'm excited for that. So congratulations. I know y'all getting married later on this week, but I can't wait. I'm super excited. Yeah, you know, it's going to be a fun a fun time. A fun motherfucking time. Sheesh. You know what I'm saying? And I guess one more thing to leave off with y'all, man. I am a chicken shit when it comes to scary shit. I am a chicken shit, man. And what I mean by that is I started watching the show a couple nights ago called Only Murderers in the Building, I think. Only Murders in the Building. Selena Gomez is in it. Steve Martin Short. And three strangers share an obsession with true crime and suddenly find themselves wrapped up in one. And you know, it's like a comedy drama mystery thriller. And usually, you know, I'm not too hip on these, but because it was a thriller and stuff, I was like, okay, I'm down. This is on Disney, you know. Bruh, last night I had so many nightmares about being murdered. Fuck. This is why I slept like shit. Man, I think I went to bed maybe 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I was dead tired this morning. I am a coward when it comes to scary movies and shit like that. Really good show though. Really, I thought I was gonna turn it off, but it hooks, man. It hooks you good. And the storylines and how things unfold, I was like, oh, this is really good. And I bet if you really like murder mystery shit, this is gonna be in true crime, you're gonna really like this. Cause I ain't even fuck with that world that much, and I dug it. Yeah. Anyways, man, it's good to be back. Thank y'all so much for listening, man. These are always fun. More shit about Olympus is coming. We got new music, new collabs. I got some shows. Wedding Commissioner J. Yeah, it's been beautiful. Life's beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning in to more love, more success. Thank you for tuning in again. We'll be back. This has been A Moment with Jay.
I hope you know, with every darker night, there's a brighter day. Through the chaos, we'll be okay. Sending nothing but positive vibes your way. Love for always. Jay.